Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join us today. I thought today we'd do something that's really cold, so you better get out your big coat and put it on. With a knife, take some pure titanium coat. Let's take Prussian blue, midnight black, put some alizarin crimson in it, maybe even a little Van Dyke. Good dark color. Predominantly blue though. Pull it out as flat as you can get it, cut across, get a little roller. Pull it out as flat as we can get it, cut across. There we go. And we'll take some white, a little Prussian blue, mix it together. And with that, we'll make a nice little shadow color, just blue and white. There, good cold color. Cut off our little roll of paint. Let's do two ranges of mountains, just to show you how you can put one mountain in front of another. All right. The liquid white, cut across it. We'll go right up in here. And just put in little tiny water fibers right there. This is just a light area between the two darks. It sort of separates. It also looks like little places where snow's laying out in the water. There we go. That nice. Maybe there's a big old thing out in here. Whatever. It's up to you. It's up to you. All right, let's have some fun. Time to get crazy. Let's mix up some Prussian blue, some black, crimson. Whew, a lot of color there, dark. It should look black. But it has a blue base to it. I'll even put a little brown to keep it dull. There. Let me wipe off the old knife. Tell you what, let's take a look. Got a little blue and white here. This is such a cold looking thing. We'll just use that color to make the indication of a few little trunks here and there. There. A little bit brown, but I want this paint to stay cold. Real cold. There. Right back in here. Put the indication of the snow under here. Just a little snow. Gotta have something for all this to set on. It's just sort of hanging out here in the lake right now, or something back here. I'm gonna go right into some Van Dyke brown. Van Dyke brown, and this. I'm gonna put a small amount of alizarin crimson, a little bit of burnt umber into it. Okay. Now pull that paint out just as flat as you can get it. Really get tough with it. Pull it out flat, and then sort of cut across so you have a small roll of paint right out on the edge of the knife. Very important. You need that little roll of paint. Let's go up to the canvas, go back here, and I'll take a titanium white, and we load the knife the same way. Add a small amount of brown to it, just to dull it down. So we have titanium white and the least little amount of brown. Cut across it. Need that small roll of paint again. There we go. Very important. Okay, to grow up here. So let's go right up here. And let's just touch. This is just straight sap green. Here and there. Oh, there he is. Little old bush and tree. It's trying to make it up here. But life's tough up here on top of this mountain. So there we go. Put a few of those right here. Right here. There we go. There's some more. And just sort of still you want to follow these angles. You don't want to lose these angles. Wherever you think something might get a little foothold there and grow, just drop them on. And it makes it a little more exciting, a little more interesting. Just use the corner of the brush here and you can just pick up, make it look like little, see there? Easy. You can just make all kinds of little things happen wherever you think they should be. There's one right there. That's where they ought to be, where you decide, because this is your painting, your world. Let it happen. Okay, maybe right in here. All kinds, wherever. Here, maybe right in here, there's a happy little bush. I'm just barely touching. Just enough to bend the bristles, the smallest amount. A lot of paint on the brush. And we can go into some Indian yellow and yellow ochre, a little bit of that. Just to break it up a little so the color's not all the same. some sap green and some yellow ochre. Pretty color, very pretty color. We'll just drop that right in. There. There we go. Okay, that just gives us some nice little basic shapes. Some ideas back here. All right, I'm going to take the script liner brush. All right, I'm going to go back into my brown, Van Dyke brown. Let's put a little burnt umber with it. Get a little bit on the knife. And let's begin thinking about where we're going to have some land areas. And I'm just barely touching the canvas, letting the paint break. I want this to look very rocky and rough. That's what my dog used to say, rough. There we go. Okay, just very loose. Very loose. Don't worry about it. Have fun right here. Pull that knife across. All you're worried about is a general lay of the land. Just pull it in the angle you want your land to go. Okay, we'll take some brown and white, and we'll come back in here, and just like when we did the mountain, lightest pressure, virtually no pressure. And all we're doing here, just barely letting it graze, so it hits the high spots, just the high spots. Barely touching. Sometimes it's very pretty. Add a little yellow ochre to your color and watch. A little yellow ochre and white, it's very pretty. Makes nice stones. Okay, go right into some sap green with this old dirty brush. And it already has yellow on it and everything else. I want this side to be quite dark. Much darker. Not as much light's going to strike over here. There. Oh, it's almost straight sap green. A little bit of yellow on the brush, but mainly sap green. Good, dark, rich color. Okay, now we need, just like on the other side, let's put a little bit of land in here. And I'm just barely touching with a knife. It's Van Dyke brown. Then we'll take some brown and some white, just like on the other side. And let's put a little bit of highlight, not quite as much, just one little here and there. And then we bring some of these grassy areas right down on that, so it makes the grass come right over the top. Otherwise, it sort of just floats around. That quick, that gives us just a nice little background. So let's begin thinking about our barn. Let's start out with, we'll just use plain old Van Dyke brown. Pull the paint out as flat as you can get it. Take the knife, just cut across, and get that small roll of paint right out on the edge of the knife. Now then, we have to start off and make some big decisions here. Where does our barn live? Maybe, just make a decision, maybe right in here. Maybe there'd be like an old silo thing out here, right about here. We'll just make a basic line where we want this to go. Maybe it's about this wide. And all we're looking for here is just basic shape. Just really push in some color. Add a little dark sienna to that. Van Dyke brown, dark sienna. Now then, I want to take the small knife and just begin rubbing this. Rubbing it, it'll become very soft and very smooth. It looks almost like it was done with a brush. There, we wipe off the excess paint, but rub it. There we go. Okay, now then, maybe let's put maybe there's some snow up on this little thing. Let's go back up here. Let's go right up in here. Maybe let's touch right here, pull down. Zoom. Just sort of decide where that's going to be and just drop it in. A little bit right over in here. Pull it. Tell you what, maybe this one's got a little doer. It comes out here. Wherever you want it. All kinds of little things. Go back with our brown. And let's just fill this in. There we go. Just straight brown. And all we're doing right now is just blocking in some basic color. You could do this with a, you could do this with a paint roller. Any old way. We'll firm up that edge a little. There we go. Just pull it down, straighten it out a little. I'm going to take a 1-inch brush and very lightly just pull right over the top of this where we've taken the knife and rubbed it. So make it very smooth and very interesting. Now then, let's take and give the indication here and there of a few old boards back here. All we're doing is taking a small roll of the Van Dyke brown, just barely touching. Barely touching. Now lightly, lightly. One here and some air. There we go. Now, let's decide where the rest of our old barn is going to live. Maybe, let's go right up in here. Maybe it comes down right here and then turns right over all of our work. Just wherever you want it. And the other side over here, maybe this one comes down like so. Right down to about there. Okay, let's put a little, maybe there's a little doer right out here. We'll just sketch that in with our knife. Now, we want to block all this in with color. And I'm just using just basically Van Dyke brown, a little dark sienna here and there in it. And all we're doing is just blocking in color. Blocking in color. Okay, tell you what, maybe here and there, add a little touch of phthalo blue right there. That's pretty. Doesn't look so hot right now, but when we go back and begin blending all this together, you'll be surprised. Those little things will make it look like shadows in there and stuff. Experiment with different colors. Maybe over here we'll have something come out like that. We'll have a roof. See there? Just sort of lay it out, block in the color. Boy, I know at home you're saying, Bob, you really made a mess this time. You may be right as rain, too. There we go. Okay. Now, once you get this basic color blocked in here, now all I'm going to do is take the small knife and just like we did before, begin rubbing it. Continually wiping the knife on paper towel. Can you pick up some colors like yellow ochre? Put a little yellow ochre in here. Rub very firmly. Wipe the knife. Continually wiping the knife, removing that excess paint. There we go. And at home, you have all kind of time. You can make this look so unreal. It's beautiful what you can do. Just taking this knife and rubbing it, making tiny little circles. People will think you've worked for long periods of time with a very delicate little brush. There. And the more you rub it, the smoother it becomes. Just makes some beautiful effects. Beautiful effects. There. You know, one of the questions I'm asked repeatedly is, where do I get all the ideas for these paintings that we do? People send me ideas from all over the country. This one came from an idea that a lady sent me. And if there's things that you want to see painted that we're not painting here, drop me a line. Let me know what it is. Love to hear from you. And that's where we get most of these ideas, as I said before. It's from people writing in and telling us what they want to see. There we are. Now then. Just removing excess paint. But at the same time, we're pushing that color right into the fabric. There. Okay. A little bit over here. And play with colors. Like we can take a little dark sienna and add here and there. A little alizarin crimson. Shoot, just put some of these nice colors wherever you think they should be. Just break it up a little. It makes it so much more interesting. Continually wiping the knife. There. already we have a pretty good basic shape of a barn there. If you want a light spot here and there, take a little bit of the titanium white and it'll lighten up an area. Just rub it in. And the small knife seems to work much better than the big knife for this rubbing. It does just beautiful things. And I'm pushing hard enough that I'm actually bending the blade a little bit. But it's very flat. Okay. Take brown out as flat as we can get it and cut off the tiniest little roll of paint. Just right out on the end of the blade. Now then, begin thinking about all the boards that's in this barn. And just sort of let the knife touch and bounce. Just let it play on there. Very, very little paint's coming off the knife. We just want the indication of a lot of little boards. There we are. Okay, and just wherever you want them. Wherever you want them. I like to do paintings like this. We travel all over the country and do shows for PBS stations and etc. all over, help them with their fundraising activities. But we do a lot of paintings like this and they're very, very popular. And when we travel and do these shows, we meet some of the most fantastic people in the country. So if we get to your area, come out and see us. I'd love to spend some time with you and talk to you, see some photographs of what you're painting. It's a good time for us to get together and just chew the fat for a while. There. And I tell you what, if you want to know when we're going to be in your area, drop me a line. Just give me a name and address, and we have a little mailing list that we maintain. We'll send you a card when we're going to be in your area. You can come out and see us. You can just drop it and carry the address at the end of the station. They'll send it to me. Okay, tell you what. You know, if you were walking in and out of here and taking the cow in and out and it was raining, you'd probably get wet. So let's put maybe there was a porch over this old barn or some type of roof up here. Keep the rain off. So we'll just put that on right like that. Just straight Van Dyke brown. Okay. Now maybe we need an old rail to hold it up here, an old post. Well, that was sort of crooked. Maybe that old barn's about to fall over. We'll give him another one right there, wherever you want him. Take a little touch of white, give him a little highlight so he stands out. Two ranges of mountains, just to show you how you can put one mountain in front of another. All right. The liquid white, cut across it. We'll go right up in here. And just put in little tiny water line is right there. This is just a light area between the two dark. It sort of separates. It also looks like little places where snow's laying out in the water. There we go. That nice. There's a big old thing out in here. Whatever. It's up to you. It's up to you. All right, let's have some fun. Time to get crazy. Let's mix up some Prussian blue, some black, crimson. Whew, a lot of color there, dark. Should look black.